Right now, however, with us is Anthony Baxter. He's a filmmaker and director of the new movie, You've Been Trumped 2. The website Trump ED Film, as in past tense, trumpedfilm.com. You can tweet him at Trumped, Trumped movie, or at ANT Baxter, as in the first three letters of Anthony. Anthony Baxter, welcome to the program.
Great to be with you, Tom.
Great to have you with us. So you are a Scottish filmmaker. I have that right?
That's right. Yeah, I've just flown back into Scotland, in fact, from New York, where we had the world premiere of the film just last week. And yeah, we're showing it for the first time in the UK tonight, and then we're live streaming it this evening at 8 EST time on Facebook at that web address that you mentioned there, Tom, trumpedfilm.com. And the reason is we want to try and get it out to as many Americans as possible ahead of the election, because Donald Trump has been trying to shut the film down, threatening us with legal action and any movie theater that shows the film. And we think it's really important to get the film out to as many people as possible, mainly because we've heard a lot of what Mr. Trump has said during the course of this campaign, but I think what we show in the film is what he does and the results of his actions on women, and in particular, a 92-year-old woman called Molly Forbes, who Donald Trump says reminds him of his own mother. But Molly Forbes has been without a proper working water supply for 5 years, all because of Trump, quote unquote, as she puts it. I mean, I first made a film called You've Been Trumped back in 2010, and as part of that, I followed the story of how Trump's workers had cut off the water supply to Molly and her son Michael while building a luxury golf course resort here in Scotland, just up the road from where I'm speaking to you now, Tom, on the pristine sand dunes of the Balmedi coast. And this was a protected coastline. Nothing was supposed to be built on it. Trump got permission to build on it because he promised so much. He promised 6,000 jobs. And as we show in the film, he's actually delivered 95 jobs, most of them part-time, low-paid. And there he is saying that he's going to be, quote unquote, the greatest jobs president that God ever created. And so we want to show the reality of the situation of what Trump says and what he does are two very different things. And in terms of the Forbes' water supply, you know, they spent 5 years without a proper working water supply because of this actions by Donald Trump's workers.
Wow. Now, I thought that there was also a piece of this that he's built a giant wall around the golf course, blocking the view of the ocean from people who've been living there for, well, she's 92, for a long, long time.
That's right. I mean, you know, Donald Trump, of course, has planned to build a wall between Mexico and the United States. And we know here in Scotland he has form on walls. He built these huge earth walls around people's houses because he said they were ugly and he didn't want to see the houses, and he wanted to get rid of the houses using eminent domain. The Scottish equivalent here is called compulsory purchase, and Mr. Trump tried that tactic. It failed, and so what he did was he built these huge walls of earth around people's houses so that they couldn't see out of their windows. He had security people up on the top of these mounds watching over them day in, day out. And, you know, it's a series of tactics, really, that has led to intimidation, bullying, and harassment for these people for years and years. And
is this because he's concerned that? Is this because he's concerned that the very, very wealthy people who will be using his golf course would be offended at seeing an average working person's home?
Yes. I mean, he said very much at the beginning that Michael Forbes, the farmer I mentioned, and his mother Molly, he branded their home a slum and said Michael lived like a pig. And he said he didn't want to build his luxury hotel overlooking a slum. And he used that excuse as a reason for not building the hotel, which was part of the equation. He was supposed to deliver all the jobs. So Michael is very much the kind of person that Trump is appealing to in America. You know, a farmer, a kind of working guy. He's got his tractor, he repairs machinery, he's got lots of stuff in his backyard that he uses to fix up other things. And, you know, Trump called it a disgrace and Michael a national embarrassment to Scotland.
Yeah. We're talking with Anthony Baxter. He's a filmmaker and director of the new movie You've Been Trumped 2. The website is trumpedfilm.com, and that's trumped as in past tense, ED. And the Twitter is @TrumpedMovie. But keep that separate in your brain. It's film.com for the website. And we have just a short clip of it, Anthony, if I may play that.
Sure.
Okay, here it is.
Yeah, we put the flag up last night. He's threatened to wall in the Mexicans. Well, he's walled us in, as you can see from this banks of earth round about us. So it's a bit of solidarity with the Mexicans more than anything else.
Here's a definite thing about walls. I mean, I don't want to see the houses, I remember him saying.
I don't want to see the houses. Nobody has a problem with it. I guess maybe the people that live in the houses have.
So this is pictures of the
I would build a great wall, and nobody builds walls better than me, believe me.
And this is a fellow.
Where the hell could you go now?
How are you going to make them pay for the wall?
I will, and the wall just got 10 feet taller. 10 feet taller.
Yeah, apparently Mr. Trump has a thing about walls, Anthony Baxter.
He does, and those walls were built around the houses as John Monroe and Susan Monroe were talking about there. They had these bulldozers just spring into action one morning and start building these walls without any kind of notification at all. And David Milne, the guy who you saw walk to the top of his wall, that was the same story with him. One morning he woke up, there were several bulldozers all churning up earth, building this massive wall around his house so that Donald Trump wouldn't see his house. He'd said, we have him on camera as well, saying that he wanted to get rid of David's house. He has permission to actually bulldoze it, as it were. That's from the local planning authority, who have given him kind of planning permission to essentially build a car park on top of David's house. But David has stood firm, as indeed all the residents have. They've shown incredible dignity and courage over the years against this intimidation and bullying. And, despite these big walls of earth being built around their houses, they've stayed where they are. They haven't gone anywhere, and they've stood up in this quiet, dignified way for the environment that they believe in and the pristine dunes that have now been destroyed. And for what? One golf course for the super rich, which is losing millions of dollars according to the latest figures, and is employing only a tiny, tiny fraction of the people that Donald Trump promised. Yeah,
it's an amazing story. Anthony Baxter is the filmmaker and director. The movie is You've Been Trumped Too, and the website for it is trumpedfilm.com. So you can check it out. Anthony, thanks for dropping by today.
Thanks for having me on, Thom. Really appreciate it.
Thank you very much, and I appreciate your I think it's evening there. I appreciate you being with us in the evening. Thank you. We'll be right back. It's 15 minutes past the hour.